All right. Well, first of all, sorry about the glitch. Apparently, on January 1st, I think my Zoom account was defaulted back to a basic. So only 100 people were let in. And that meant that there's a lot of folks that have been messaging me and could not get on. I just went in quickly and upgraded my account, spent $1,090, and now everybody's all getting let in. So Zoom is not inexpensive, but you guys are worth it. Don't want anybody missing this. So if you guys are ready for a power hour of kickoff content for the new year, comment that you are ready in the chat. Love to hear from you. Just kind of, here's what I need. Here's what you do when you show up to something like this. Come give me energy, because you get what you give, right? So the more energy I feel from you all, the more I'm going to be able to come from deep down and deliver it to you as best I possibly can. I've been on the phone all day long. I'm losing my voice, probably not very smart, knowing I've got this big webinar that I was going to be putting on for you guys here tonight, but I'm going to do my very, very best. So first of all, I want to say Happy New Year. Happy New Year. I've been able to say that. Well, I'm not sure how much I said it when I was 1, 2, 3 years old, but I'm 53. So for about a half a century, about 50 times, I've said Happy New Year. Okay. Hopefully all of us on here have many more times to say that. But let's talk about what Happy New Year means, because you all are here because you want this year to be better than last year, I imagine. So I want you to contemplate some things. Hopefully you take some notes and journal some of this stuff here tonight. How was your 2023? How was it? We are wasting your time and mine if you don't come off of this Zoom with a desire and a plan to do more this year than last year. So how was 2023? Did you have goals? I think this is super important. Did you have goals? Believe it or not, I work with thousands of people a year. Many people don't set goals. And then they complain that their life is not any better. They complain that they don't have the income and the money they need to have a better life. They complain they don't have time with their spouse or kids. They complain. And I say, well, what were your goals this year? And how are you doing towards them so far? And they have a blank stare, like, what do you mean goals? So basically, they've been walking through life like a goalless zombie, nothing that they're chasing, and then they wonder why they're not hitting any marks. So what were your goals? What did you hit and what did you miss with your goals? Now, this is something that may be foreign to you, or maybe something that you're already used to doing. But the number one thing is plan your life with the end in mind. Plan your business with the end in mind. Why are you in a network marketing business? What are you doing here? What's your end game? Like, when will you know that you succeeded? Like, I'll know if I make X amount of money. Okay, well, what is that money going to be used for? Is it going to set you free from a job? Is it going to buy you and your family a house to retire in? Is it going to be to travel around the world? What does that look like? The overall grand picture. What does that end game look like? Why you're doing this daggone business in the first place? Sure, you might like the business, you might like the product, you might like the people, but why are you really doing it? What is in it for you at the end of the day? Okay. So what's your end game? Figure out your end game and then work backwards to today. Makes sense when you think about it, but here's what's crazy. Most people get into a network marketing business because they want to make some extra money. They want to supplement their income. Tell me if I'm wrong. Did you not get into this business to make an extra $500 a month or an extra $1,000 a month? Because statistically, most people get into a side business in network marketing to make an extra $500 to $1,000 a month. You might say, no, that would never be worth it for me. Okay, but you might be the exception, and understand that you're not the norm. You're an exception if making 5 figures a month was your minimum to make this worth your while. Maybe you're already a big earner And for this business to be worth putting any energy into, you got to be making 6 figures, but that's not, the norm is an extra 500 to 1,000 a month. So if that's why you got started, did you evolve? When you got more engaged in your business, did you realize there's a much bigger end game that you should be thinking about? So did you explore what that end game looked like? Now, this is what I actually did. This is my dream board. This is a picture of some of my end game, what I wanted to accomplish. Vision board, dream board, whatever you want to call it. But I had a big vision. I had the cars, the homes, the island, the family, speaking on stage at the Georgia Dome, all these different things that were big, big, big goals for me. And when all of those things on my dream board got accomplished, then I would know I did what I set out to do. So I say all that to say, you had goals in 2023, I hope. If you did or didn't, we're going to change that for 2024. So every one of you all will have such goals. But what were your misses and what were your hits? You certainly didn't hit all your goals, because if you did, I would venture to say that you didn't shoot some of them high enough. Like, you should have stretch goals. Like I've never had a year where I hit all my goals. I have some that are realistic, some that are stretched, and some that are like really out there that are like pulling me towards them like a North Star. And just because I don't hit the North Star goals does not mean I consider myself a failure. So what were your hits and what were your misses? And this is what you do at the end of a year to really plan, do, review, plan, do, review. Plan your goals, do the activity, review the results, and then reset your goals, and then plan, do, review again. So what were your hits? What were your misses? And then the last question here is, how do you feel? How do you feel about yourself? How do you feel about what you did or didn't do last year? Sometimes we're motivated by the prospect of gain, and sometimes we're motivated by avoiding pain. Like, sometimes people want, Michael Jordan and other all-time great athletes, some of them said they didn't play to win because they loved winning so much. Some of them wanted to win because they hated losing. So some of you all want to win big time this year because you just don't want to lose anymore. And some of you have big whys and big goals and things you want to accomplish and money you need to use for things, and you want to play to win for those things. But so learn from your misses. Okay. Failure is not a bad thing as long as you're learning from failure. Failing and not learning, that is bad. And then get fueled by your hits going into 2024. So let me talk to you all now about New Year's resolutions. I think this is really, really important for us to be considering, because let's talk about what a New Year's resolution is. Let me actually pull up my notes on this. Why do you do New Year's resolutions? Because you analyze yourself and you say, I want to do better this year. We look back and we see our faults that we feel like they need correcting, and we promise ourselves we're going to do better. We look in the mirror and we're like, I got to do better. I got to eat better, or I got to work out more. We look at our bank account. We say, I got to earn more, or I got to spend less. So we see our faults. We see where we're coming up short in the different areas of our life. And we say, you know what? Going into this new year, I'm going to do better on these things. Now, why don't people follow through on these? Well, I believe it's just because they don't want it bad enough to properly set the goals. Would you guys agree with that? When you want something bad enough, you'll make it happen. For example, tonight, our team in my business, our team has a business opportunity presentation Zoom. It's actually happening right now. Business opportunity Zoom. And so right now, with that Zoom, anybody that gets on that Zoom, they get a prospect on, they're going to recruit them because the opportunity is that strong. So why do people not do it? Why do people not get a prospect on that Zoom? And I want to submit this to you. If I promised you I was going to give you $50,000, if I was going to give you $50,000, if you just got 5 prospects on tonight's Zoom, you bet your sweet bippy you would get 5 prospects on that Zoom if you're going to get 50K cash. You know you would. If you were guaranteed, if you just got 5 people to show up, they'd have to sign up. If you got 5 prospects on there, you are going to get $50,000 by hook or by crook. I don't care. You would do whatever you have to do, say whatever you have to say. You would bribe. You would convince. You would ask for favors. You would make promises. You'd be enthusiastic. You'd use the scripts. You'd do whatever you got to do to get people on there. But because you're not guaranteed $50,000, you're probably just not going to treat it that importantly. And as we get into this training a little bit, I'm going to share with you some insights on my journey, which caused me to treat my business the way I treated it, which led to a result of having 400,000 distributors on my team, 2.5 million customers, earning $26 million in personal earnings, having a team that got paid over $570 million in their collective pockets. All of that happened not just by chance or not just by luck. There's things that happened and things that were in place to make that occur. So when you think about New Year's resolutions, if you want them bad enough, you will properly set goals around them. And then you'll put the proper things in place around goals. So I think we need to talk about what goals are. What are goals? What are goals? Goals are, first of all, how do you set a goal? I think this is super important for everybody to understand how you actually set goals. Number one, goals are specific. They're specific. You have to have a specific goal. It's not like I ask people, hey, what's your income goal? I want to make a lot of money. Well, how much is a lot? Oh, I don't know. I just need to make more than I'm spending. Oh, no, I need a number. $5,000 a month, 10 grand a month, 20 grand a month, whatever it is. Give me a specific goal that you're trying to hit. So goals need to be specific. They need to be written. By the way, if you're going to be a network marketing team leader, you're going to build a big team, you take notes. Don't just stare at me. Take notes because you need to teach this stuff. If you want to be like me, do like me, right? Learn what I learned, teach what I teach. And that's how you do all this. So goals have to be specific. They need to be written down. They need to be worthwhile. If you tell me that your goal is $500 and then you make $500 and it didn't make anything better in your life, it didn't make you excited, didn't make you happy, then you didn't have a good goal. Sure, I'm glad that you made $500, but did that goal, was that the right goal? If your goal was 500, you made 500 and you weren't joyous about it, then maybe your goal should have been 1,000, 2,000, something different. It needs to be worthwhile. So when you accomplish it, you're happy about it. Number 4, it needs to have a timeline attached. It can't be open-ended. Can't be like, I want to make $500 a month. Okay, well, in what month? It can't be like, well, in 20 years, I want to finally make my $500 for that month. No, it's like, when do you want this stuff all to occur? You want to make $500 a month within the next 3 months? This month? This year? When is it? You've got to have a deadline attached to your goal. And then lastly, it needs to be shared. Your goals need to be shared with other people that matter. Sharing them publicly is a good idea. So that way you don't want to shame yourself in front of other people and be embarrassed for telling the world, I'm going to go do this, and you don't do it. So publicly is good, but also privately with your mentor, with your family. Share goals with other people that you're going to feel compelled, and frankly, you'll feel bad if you don't do it. because you know other people are watching you. That's how you set goals. So when you do your New Year's resolution, don't be like a typical average adult person who says, I'm going to lose weight, I'm going to make more money. You say these things because they sound altruistic. And then within 7 days, you're back to the normal BS you've been doing all your life. Just kidding. But you know what I'm saying, right? We all let ourselves off the hook all the time. We don't like making ourselves feel bad. So we let ourselves off the hook. And if you're somebody who lets yourself off the hook, does that stand to reason that you're going to succeed in life? No, you settle in where all of the content complainers settle in. And you try to sell yourself on why you should be happy with what you got. People who say you should be happy with what you got gave up on trying for more. So they're saying, hey, look, just settle. I've said this before. I'm going to say it one more time when I move on. But can you imagine if you came home early one day from work or from running errands and your spouse was in the kitchen and he or she was talking to her best friend or his best friend, and you walk in quietly and they didn't hear you, they didn't know you were there. And they told their friend, yeah, I know I settled. Yeah, I know I settled in this marriage. I know I could have done better, but everything's okay. I'm happy. How would you feel? I'd want to go jump off a roof if I found that my wife was telling people that she settled for me. Nobody wants to settle. So don't settle for where you're at in your life right now is not where you're designed or destined to be. There's so much more waiting for you. Dig in deeper. We've got one life to live. I don't know what you believe. I don't think I'm coming back as a cat or a tree or a rubber or a plant. We got one life. Give it everything you got. At the end of your life, you want everybody saying, well done. You especially want God to say, well done. So that's a little bit I wanted to share with you about New Year's resolutions. I was on Facebook, and I have a friend, Lisa, who posted something today. I'm going to read this for you fast. You don't need to necessarily take notes, but listen quickly, because I want to cover this, because I've got a lot I want to cover for you all tonight. And I apologize. I'm slowly and steadily getting into my flow. The technology problem at the beginning was messing me up. I felt really bad that Zoom has locked a whole bunch of people out, and a lot of people were getting in. I was looking at my phone over here, trying to look at my notes, trying to look at all these text messages are piling in. So hopefully you guys, hopefully I'm delivering okay for you. I'm going to get better here. So let me share with you this advice I saw on Facebook today. These are 24 pieces of advice as you enter 2024. I'm going to read them off. 1, your mind can be your demise. Be careful what you feed it. Number 2, create a stop doing list. Number 3, if you think you have your shit together, you're wrong. Get back to work. Number 4, don't make decisions when you're angry, and don't make promises when you're happy. Number 5, hit the process button before the panic button. Number 6, the secret sauce is consistency. 7, do first what you don't want to do most. 8, when you try to dig a hole for others, you'll be the one that falls in. 9, stop confusing the popular circle with the winner circle. 10, it's never too late to create the life you want. 11, if you try, you risk failure. If you never try, you ensure it. 12, pull the weeds in your life to feed your growth. 13, you come to wisdom through failure. 14, leadership is about making others better when you're around and leaving an impact when you're gone. 15, go all in. If you half-ass your effort, you'll get half-ass results. A half-ass bank account, half-ass reputation, and a half-ass life. Now, I didn't write this. Don't judge me for the language. Is everybody on here over 18? Okay, you're good. You're good. You all seen a rated R movie before? You didn't walk out of the theater, did you? Okay. It's funny how you say one curse word from stage, and somebody walks out like, I can't believe they say that on stage, and then they go right to the next Friday night and they see an R-rated movie. People are nuts. Okay. Number 16, your intuition is always your best compass. 17, karma is your best friend or worst enemy. The choice is yours. 18, free cheese only comes in traps. Feel free to tell your face that you're enjoying this. Some of y'all, you don't look like you're having a good time here. Smile. Let me see y'all smile. Crying out loud. Jeez, this is not a job meeting here. We're having fun. All right. Number 19, making yourself a priority is priority. 20, if you want to play in the game, you have to show up for practice. 21, a lot of things in life are a lesson, not a life sentence. 22, the strength of your mind determines the quality of your life. 23, listen to everyone else and you'll end up like everyone else. Assess the situation carefully. And 24, don't have the potential of a freight train and go through life with a parking brake on. All right. So I hope you enjoyed some of those 24 bullet points that you should contemplate going into this new year. I'm sure there was something for everyone. It's kind of like a buffet. You didn't have to agree with them all or take heed in them all. So let me shift gears. Let me just get this out of the way. I have to explain something I emailed you guys a month ago, and I want you to understand why I did it. If you are on this Zoom, most of you are probably on my email list. If you're not on my email list and you just happen to see my post on social media today about this, go to briancarruthers.com and go click on anything, and you should have a pop-up. Or try to leave the website. You should have a pop-up that'll say, hey, get on Brian's email list. Give me your email and be on my list. At least once a month, I send out something valuable. Hopefully it'll be of value to you. So that might be why you received an email about a month ago from me about SETC. Just say me in the comments if you got that email about SETC and know what I'm talking about. If you don't know what I'm talking about, just say, huh? Just say that in the chat, huh? Me if you know, and huh if you don't know. And you got to put a question mark after the huh, so it's not like, huh. No, it needs to be, huh? So give me a huh. All right, so I see some huhs and I see some me's. Okay, good. So what is SETC? It stands for Self-Employed Tax Credit. Now, the reason why I sent that out is this. I am a holistic mentor, meaning I want to take a whole approach to somebody's success. I have seen far too many people that have gotten involved in this business and started making money, and they had no idea what in the world to do with the money. So they did what they always did, and they just blew whatever money that came in. And at the end of the year, their net worth never grew, didn't budge. Can you think about this? Just put your thinking cap on, because we're a thinking community here, okay? Put your thinking cap on. You bust your ass all year long, and you make a bunch of extra money from your network marketing business. And at the end of the year, your net worth, your wealth has not grown a dime. Why did you spend all that time in this business if you didn't get ahead? You might say, well, I spent more money on things I wanted. Okay. If that's your prerogative, that's your choice. If that's your priority, okay. But I would encourage you to read my money mindset book, to adopt a wealth building mindset that has a philosophical underpinning on something that, oh, I see somebody holding it up right there. Larry's got it right there in his hand. So why do you want to build wealth? Or maybe you don't. Why should you? Why do I feel? And you could tell me to take a long walk off a short pier anytime if you don't agree with certain things I say. I don't mind that. I just tell you, I feel it's my moral obligation to not only be a provider for my family that I love, but also to set them up for a future with or without me. God forbid if I'm the breadwinner in our household and something happens to me and the bread stopped coming in. What would happen to my wife and 3 boys? What would they do? Life would certainly be disrupted. Not only would they grieve the loss of a husband and dad, but now what happens next? So I felt it was my obligation to go, my duty as the dad and the husband to go out there and make this thing happen, to go build wealth, to put a financial moat around me and my family, to leave a legacy of not of struggle and bills, but a legacy of wealth and freedom. And we all have that opportunity to do that for our families. So I love the fact that I got into the network marketing business where it's not just about me making me money. My background in real estate, when I sold houses, I made me money. I didn't help anybody else out in real estate. It was about me helping me. I made commissions and I used that for my family. In network marketing, it's different. I help people in my downline team make money, and the company pays me an override. If they win, I win. If they don't win, I don't win. I love the alignment, the true alignment of interest. So I love the fact that I can help people make money. Don't you guys love that? Right? But in addition to that, I want people to save the money that they're making. It's not how much you make, it's how much you keep that counts. So I wanted to make sure I'm teaching them how to make money, teaching them how to pay the least amount of taxes legally, pay the right amount of taxes, which is the least. And then I need them to learn how to grow their money. Like Kevin O'Leary on Shark Tank always said, I want to send my money out in the world and have come back with friends, right? I want to teach people how to grow their wealth with the money that they saved. So, and I've been teaching that for 25 years, which is why I wrote the books and which is why I spend all my energy doing what I do, teaching as many different ways as I can. So let me get to the point and let me move on. I sent out that SETC email because I was having breakfast with Grant Cardone and his pilot, Ryan, a couple years ago in Las Vegas at the MGM when the morning before Grant was hosting his 10X Growth Con. I texted Ryan. I said, hey, where's Grant? He said, he's down at the gym. I'm like, can we grab breakfast? He's like, let me see what I can do. So he texted me like, hey, Grant's heading to the restaurant, head over there now. So the three of us sat down and we had breakfast together, which was neat. I'm not going to get into all the conversation, but it's just cool kind of being around, picking his brain and stuff. But I was heading back to my room and I ran into two friends of mine who I hadn't seen in a long time and probably have 15 years or so. And we wound up having dinner that night. And during that dinner, Tony, one of my friends, told me about how he had built a food delivery business out in the Midwest, like kind of like a DoorDash or a Grubhub. It was doing really well. And how he was also with his high school friend, who was a CPA, he was forming an ERC specialty firm to help companies get ERC tax credits from the government for COVID relief. I'm like, okay, I don't even know what the heck that is. So I just blew it off. Well, last year, I find out that Tony and his firm did like 14,000 filings for these businesses. And Tony made hundreds of millions of dollars. Unbelievable. Anyhow, he contacted me about a month ago. He said, what we did for business owners with ERC, there is now a program for self-employed people, 1099 people like us in network marketing, or real estate agents, or Uber drivers, anybody who is self-employed, 80 million of us in the United States alone who paid taxes to the US government now can get up to $32,000 in a tax credit, like money back in their pockets if they had to take time off from work or from money-making activity because they got COVID or because they were a caregiver taking somebody in their family who got COVID. So that's why I sent out that link to go check out a 5-minute video about how to get my buddy's firm to do their filing. I'm going to put that in the chat right now real quick so that everybody in here that does not know what I'm talking about, copy the link I just put in there, save it for later. Don't look at it now. There's a 5-minute video. There's a 5-minute video. Watch the video. It'll explain how this program works. It's available to anybody. And here's the thing. You can get anywhere from a few thousand to 5 figures that you can get into your pocket. Now, what would you do with that money right now? What would you do with that money? And Ernie, you say you wish you qualified, but your business was not affected. Your business may not have been affected, but if you took time off because you were sick or you were caring for somebody who was sick, there's a calculation about how much you earn for the year divided by how many working days in the year, 265 days or whatever it is. And then that's how much daily income you had. If you took 10 days off, multiply it times that number, and that's what you would get back from the IRS. Don't trust me. Go watch the video. Listen to the enrolled agents, the tax attorneys, and the CPAs that came up with how they do the filing for you. Here's the thing. I actually get a spiff or a kickback, a few $100s in anybody who does a filing with my buddy's firm. And I said this in the email. I'm going to say it again to you all now. Any dollar that comes in from that SETC, anybody, it's just the US, by the way, any money that comes my way for referring you, I'm giving it to charity. Okay. Half of it's going to go to my church and half of it's going to go to an orphanage in Guatemala, who my friend actually founded. And I know every dollar goes to those kids. So it's not a profitable proposition for me whatsoever. I'm trying to be a coach, a mentor who is going to not only help you make money, but keep money. And you gave money to the US government, and they have a program with many hundreds of billions of dollars in it to make you whole for money that was lost or opportunity that was lost during COVID. So just want to share that with you all. Let me move on. Too much time on that. Let me share with you guys the hallmarks of my building process. So thinking back to the last 25 years, when you ask, and I get people asking me various questions along these lines, like what, here's a common question. Like, what is the one thing that made you so successful more than the average person in your business? Well, it's not like one thing. There's a lot of things. So preparing to meet with you all here tonight, I spent hours today thinking about this, and I poured my heart and brain on paper. So I'm going to be going off of some notes I made for this. These are my hallmarks of my building process that led to the success I've enjoyed. Okay. So I would encourage you to write down notes in your own words around this so you can really internalize it and maybe implement some of these so that you can embody these hallmarks yourself. And then next level, teach people on your team that you attract on your team, teach them how to do these things. Okay. So first of all, I knew I had to become skilled at the fundamentals of this business. I knew I had to become skilled. I didn't say be, I said become, because you can't just flip a switch and be anything. You can't just be skilled. You have to become skilled. So dissecting the word become, it's a journey. It's a process. I was willing to be bad before I was good. My first presentations were horrible. My first three-way calls were nasty. I just wasn't good at a lot of stuff. But every time I did it, I just got another centimeter better. So I knew I had to become skilled at the fundamentals of the business. Prospecting, inviting, presenting, closing, onboarding, launching, developing, right? And then I also had to become a leader worth following. And I wasn't be a leader worth following. It's not like, hey, I'm gonna put Brian Carruthers, leader. You can't just say you're a leader. And I see that happening in our industry all the time. People say, hey, Brian, I want you to meet a new leader on my team. I'm like, what's her name? Her name is so-and-so. How long has she been in the business? A week. She's not a leader on your team. She's a new member on your team, but she can't be a leader in a new business that she's a week old in. So we throw around some of the terminology or some of these titles, throw them around too much. You can't just be a leader. You have to become a leader. My good friend Darnell Self, who I grew up in this industry with, my workout partner and running mate for the last 28 years, He's been with me for 25 in Legal Shield. He's earned, I think he's at $18 million in earnings. So he knows the business very, very well. He and I did a training called the Network Marketing Leadership Academy. We did it just before COVID, actually just before I shaved my hair. I was watching it yesterday, the recording of it, and I'm like, my gosh, I had hair like that. Seems like forever ago now. And I had this microphone. It was behind the ear, a boom mic, so it kind of came like this, and then the boom mic came around to my mouth, and there were like little black clips like right here that held it to my head, and it looked like my sideburns were going like crazy. Anyway, I was laughing at myself. But I bring up Darnell in that training because we spent 5 hours teaching how leadership works in network marketing. And there's 3 phases of leadership. First, you have to be a leader that people want to join. Then you have to become a leader who people want to follow. And then you become a leader who develops other leaders. If anybody is not already at 6 figures and you want to make 6 figures in network marketing, it should be an absolute no-brainer requirement for yourself to watch that training. There's 2 ways you can do it. You can buy access to it because I sell it. It's $397. You might say, that's a lot of money. You know what's a lot? You know what's a lot more money? The amount of money that you're not going to earn without learning the stuff in that 5 hours. So you can say either $400 or miss out on $4 million of potential earnings becoming a big leader in your business. Or here's a more economical way, which I know many of you all are already a part of the Empire Builders Vault community. But if you get into the vault, literally for $49 for a monthly subscription to the vault, you have access to every training I've ever done, including the Network Marketing Leadership Academy. I'm going to give you all, because it's a new year and because you're on here live, I'm not going to offer this outside of this. So write this down. Go to empirebuildersvault.com and use a discount code VAULT39. And for $39 instead of $49, you'll have access to everything that I've ever done and ever will do. The locker room training, which is a $500 program, the leadership academy, which is $400, the time management program, Time Masters, my top recruiter secrets, which is my 13 ways that I prospect for new recruits, and exactly what I say, how I say it, the sequence and the tone, and exactly how to do the prospecting conversation. Everything I've ever trained on is all in there. And the Empire Builders Pro app, which gives you access to be able to send out my digital books to your prospects for free on an unlimited basis. You want to send out 100 of my books to your prospects for free, let them read it, and then talk to them about your opportunity. All that's free. It's part of it. So empirebuildersvault.com, and then Vault39 is the discount. So again, I wasn't even planning on saying that or even giving that discount. Okay. I gave that discount to my personal leaders on my personal team. So I remember the code, but I'm giving it to all of you guys, the 349 of you guys that are on here right now. Okay. I ask you, don't share that code with your team. If your team members did not jump on here, you said, hey, let's learn from Brian Carruthers tonight, and they didn't get on, don't give them that code. Okay. All right. So, my hallmarks, let's keep going with this. I became a personal development fanatic. Now I'm going to say some of these words slowly so you can write them down. Personal development fanatic. I understood that in order for my income to grow, I needed to grow. So I really wanted to grow fast. I wanted to do fast, and I wanted to go high. Like how, and I was asking my mentors, who should I study? Who should I listen to? What books should I read? What CDs should I listen to? What seminar should I attend? And I just dug in. I'm going to give you I'm going to give you two key recommendations for you. Jim Rohn, R-O-H-N, Jim Rohn. And I would say anything by Jim Rohn. The book of the month that my team listened to last month in December was How to Have Your Best Year Ever by Jim Rohn. I like to listen to Jim Rohn because I love his voice. At first, I didn't like his voice. At first, I didn't like his voice. I can't even do his voice, but I didn't like it. But now it's like a lullaby. It just, Jim Rohn's a part of me. He's like a, I don't know, like a grandpa or like a, I don't even know, a sage father figure. Anyhow, Jim Rohn, number one. And then I think is the best manual on how to be a top recruiter. Take a guess. What do you think is going to be the best training manual, book wise, to how to be a top recruiter in your business? Put it in the chat. What is the title of the book you think I'm going to say is the best for how to recruit like a master? Look in the chat. Look in the chat. Based on the answers you guys are all giving me right now, I think you all think I do nothing but fish for compliments. It's not my book. Thank you all. Thank you. You're like, I know what he's asking for. He's asking for building an empire. Nope. Believe me, I think Building an Empire is a good book. But the book that I think is going to make you the best recruiter and the best team leader is How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. Because that's what you do with a prospect. You win a friend and you influence them. You want somebody to listen to you about your opportunity? Get them to like you first. You know how people, they say people buy from those they know, like, and trust? Have you ever heard that before? Just shake your head if you've heard it. No, like, or trust. No, like, and trust. No, like, and trust. Well, unless your prospect is a friend of yours or a relative, then they can't know you and they can't trust you. If you're just meeting that person for the first time, they can't know you, they can't trust you. The only shot you got is to get them to like you. How to win friends and influence people. And you know what's really amazing? Darnell Self, in the Leadership Academy training I just mentioned, after the 5 hours was done, he did a 1 hour bonus training on how to be a master speaker in this field that we are in network marketing. How to be a master speaker, how to deliver your message, whether you're doing a presentation, whether you're delivering a training, whatever you're speaking about. How many of you would like to be a better speaker? To be better received by whatever your audience, whether it's an audience of 1 or 1,000, right? And he talked about this in his training. Most of your prospects are going to be people who don't know you and trust you because they don't know you. So what can you do or say? It's not really do. What can you say and how can you say it for people to instantly like you? How quickly can you make somebody your friend? A couple things I would just point out with this topic. Don't talk at people, talk with people. Never put somebody on the spot and make them feel bad about their circumstances so that you can make your opportunity appealing to them. Don't tell them that their life must stink because their job is overworking them, or they're not making the money they should, or their kids are missing them, missing their mom or dad, because they're always working. Never put anybody down. You will not win a friend by doing that. You can tell them your story about the pain points in your life and ask them if they feel you. And they will typically be like, yeah, I feel you, sister. Yeah, I feel you, brother. You can still get the point across, but by you being vulnerable, you're going to be liked. If you're genuinely vulnerable with people, people will appreciate that. You can win friends and you can influence people by being genuinely vulnerable. So write that down, genuinely vulnerable. So those are the two things. Jim Rohn, How to Win Friends and Influence People. If you want to add number 3, what you thought I was fishing for, yes, building an empire. Of course, make that a staple in your learning process. Next, Hallmark. I was obsessed. Grant Cardone wrote a book, Be Obsessed or Be Average. You know what? Great book. Great book. And anybody that you know who is great at anything, I bet some of you all know someone who's an amazing musician. I bet you they were obsessed with it. They're amazing at a sport like golf. I bet you they were obsessed with it. Wave your hand at me if you know somebody who's like a scratch golfer. Anybody? Anybody know a scratch golfer? Like pretty much hits in the 70s every time they play? I guarantee you, I am zero chance that I'm wrong at this. Those people play every week, multiple times a week. The only way you'll ever get your score down into the 70s from up in the above 100s is if you play a lot. You've got to get obsessed if you're going to do anything brilliantly in your life. So I was obsessed with my business. And I became skilled very quickly. I became a leader pretty quickly, relatively speaking, next to other people that were not obsessed with these things. I was obsessed. I sold out. Write these words down. I was all in. I was non-negotiable. I was non-negotiable. Nobody was going to tell me I was not going to go to my Super Saturday meeting. Nobody's going to tell me I was going to miss my annual convention with my company. Nobody was going to tell me anything or do anything that would take me off course. I was non-negotiable. And I was also bulletproof. There was nothing anybody could say that was going to knock me off course. Nothing that would ever make me quit. I was bulletproof. A lot of people have baby skin. They have baby skin. They get a couple people that are rude to them or tell them no, or tell them they're an idiot for getting involved in MLM. And then they go running off into the woods and they quit. I developed rhino skin. Rhino skin. A rhino can have a bird pecking with its beak into its back. Can't even feel it. Like seriously, I mean, to pierce the skin of a rhino, you can't do it with a small caliber gun. I mean, you need to use a big daddy bullet to pierce that skin. Rhino skin versus baby skin. You got to get rhino skin, you guys. You got to get rhino skin. And I want to know, what is your IQ level? What's your IQ level? Rick says 155. Your IQ level means your I quit level. What is it going to take for somebody to get you to quit? Is your upline going to have to do you wrong? Is your downline going to disappoint you? Is your company going to make a decision that you don't like the company decision about a product or a comp plan change? Or what is it going to take to get you to quit on your own dream and the vision of your end game of what you're here to accomplish? I hope you have a high IQ level. Look, I'd take a bullet for my kids. I would jump in front of a flying bullet to save one of my children. Would you guys do that? Because if you would, and you say you're doing this business for your kids, if you take a bullet for your kid, would you take 10 no's for your kid? Would you take 100 no's? How about 1,000 no's? What is your number? What's the number? You're like, no. 1,100 no's is too much. My kid's not worth it anymore. That price is too big. If I'd take a bullet for my kid, there is no number of people telling me no to my pitch that would ever knock me off course. That's how strong my IQ is. That's why I made tens of millions of dollars. I'm just giving you the hallmarks of my process. Next one, focused. Focused. I don't know that there's very many people I've met. And again, please, sometimes I have to remind myself that the way I say things sometimes doesn't sound humble. And I don't mean it that way. I feel very convicted of who I became along the way, the decisions I made, the sacrifices I decided to make to get to this point. So because I walk the walk, I want to be able to share with you very pointedly exactly what I see that occurred. So I don't know that there were very many people that were more focused than me. I don't know there's anybody more consistent than me. So consistent is another word to write down. And these are hallmarks I want you all to embody in 2024 to the best of your ability. Be more focused than you've ever been. Be more obsessed than you've ever been. Be more non-negotiable. Be bulletproof. Be sold out. Be all in. Get that rhino skin. Get increase your IQ level. Be consistent. That consistent thing, let me tell you, this plagues most people in network marketing. Don't make it very far for this very reason. They're on and off. Probably my talk from GoPro that I'm most known for in our industry, a video that's on YouTube by Eric Worre that's got, I don't even know how many views at this point. I mean, hundreds of thousands of people have watched this video. It was when I was speaking in Vegas at his event, and I brought a microwave up on stage. I put a bag of popcorn in it, and I pushed start, and then I let it go for about 15 seconds, open the door, wasn't popped yet, close the door, start. Another 10 or 15 seconds, open the door, nothing there, close it, start. 15, 20 seconds, open it up, nothing there, start. On and off, on and off, on and off, on and off. I did it for minutes. Popcorn never popped. And I told the audience, you're never going to eat popcorn if you keep opening and closing the door every 10, 15 seconds looking at it. Because the popcorn needs 2.5 minutes of consistent heat to actually pop so you can eat it. And that's how most of you guys are treating your business. You stop, start, stop, start, stop, start, stop, start, stop so many times that you're never going to get popcorn in your business. Your business needs 2.5 minutes of popcorn heat. It probably needs 2.5 years of consistent heat in your business to actually pop where you built it, like it's solid. You might say 2.5 years. Well, shit. I mean, excuse my language, but give it 2.5 months, because very few people do consistent 2.5 days of consistency. Try it. Try 2.5 months of consistent heat in your network marketing business. What is that? What do I mean by that? How many days in a row from today backwards did you get 2 new prospects exposed to your opportunity per day? 2 a day. If you don't have this yet, and I just don't want to assume everybody has this already, I'm going to put in the chat so you can copy this link and go check it out. This is free. It's my 2 a day phenomenon in network marketing book. It's an ebook. It's free. Download the book. It's a short read, by the way. It's like 10 pages. So I shouldn't even call it a book. I should probably call it a pamphlet. But the 2 a day phenomenon. If you just get 2 new people a day to check out your info consistently and then teach your team to do the same thing, you'll make millions. You'll make millions if you do 2 a day and you get your team to copy you. Oh, wow. Juan Valentine's holding up his copy, printed out with a cat on his shoulder. Look at that. There's some talent there. Is that on your shoulder or is that on something behind you, Juan? It's actually on your shoulder? Oh, he's on your chair. I got you. Okay. All right. I'm allergic to cats. So cute cat, I can't sit next to you. All right, good. So the 2 a day phenomenon. Why am I bringing this up? It's all about consistency. If you are consistent doing a minimum of 2 prospecting exposures a day, what's an exposure? Getting 2 people a day to agree to check out your info. You invite them to a Zoom, or you send them a video link to watch, send them to your website, whatever your company presentation mechanism is. Get 2 people a day to check it out. Easy to do, easy not to do. Really, that's what it boils down to. It's easy to do, also easy not to do. So what's my question? From today backwards, how many days in a row did you do 2 a day? Drop that in the chat for me. From today backwards, how many days in a row have you done your 2 a day? Let me make this easier for you, because some of you are like, you're going to be mad at me for asking an unfair question. From December 24th backwards, you might say, because how dare he expect on the day that Christ was born, on Christmas Day, that I'm going to talk to somebody about my business? I get it. I didn't talk to anybody on Christmas Day about the business either. Okay. You get a couple of days off of like Christmas. Okay. So from the 24th backwards, how many days in a row did you do 2 a day? Being real, let me look at some of these answers. And you can't say every day. What's the number? Guess. There's no audit. I'm not going to send an IRS agent to your house and a forensic audit of your books and look at your calendar. But how many days in a row from Christmas Eve backwards did you do your 2 a day? I see 7, 4, 0, 0, 29, 0, 4, 2, 0, 0, 0, 0, 4, 0, 2, 0, 10, 2, 0, 0, 26, 4, 4, 0, 2, 0, 7, 12, 0, 14, 7, 8, 0, 0. Guys, let me just be, can I be real? Permission to speak. Probably should have asked this about an hour ago. Permission to speak candidly, because I've been doing it already for an hour. Those numbers aren't good. Those numbers aren't good. I'm going to say things that you need to hear, not things that you want to hear. Don't come to somebody like me who has your best interest at heart, looking for me to make you feel warm and fuzzy. What you come to me for is for me to tell you what you need to hear so that you can course correct and you can catapult forward 10x your business. Okay. So look at your numbers. I took the holiday out of play. If you say, well, Christmas Eve should be this, whatever, the December 23rd backwards. Okay. How many days is it? If you're not like, if you've been in your business for 4 years, you should be like 250 days. You should have like some big round number. Like you can't even count back that far, but it's like hundreds of days, thousands of days, right? So get more consistent in your business, because your people on your team that you recruit are going to do what you do. If you're not consistent, they're not going to be consistent. You might be like, well, I don't tell them I'm not doing it. They know you're not doing it. Your team knows what you're doing and what you're not doing. And guys, don't pretend you're doing it when you're not, because your team looks at the top recruiter board and the top production board that your company shows. They see your rank. They see your level. And if they think that you're doing what you're supposed to be doing and your rank or your level, your income is low, you're going to depress them right out of the business. You're putting a nail in your own coffin by making it seem like you're doing the work when you're not. And then they look at the results and they see you're not getting the big results. They're like, well, my gosh, this person who's in my upline is so diligent about this business. If they can't make it, how in the world do I stand a fighting chance? And then they quit. That's one of the reasons why people quit this business, is because they look at their upline and they're like, if my upline can't do it and I'm on their team, how in the world am I going to do it? So in a selfish way and a selfless way, for 2 reasons, for your own good and for the good of the people on your team that are counting on you, be more consistent so that you can be more productive and more successful. You want to be successful, yes, for you. But your success is the lid on your people. You're destroying dreams by not succeeding, because they think if you can't do it, they can't do it. But when you succeed in 24, I said when. I believe in every one of you. When you succeed in 2024, your success is going to raise the lid so much higher on those people on your team that are now going to believe bigger, faster, and they're going to start doing much better in the business. Okay, let's get back to my hallmarks of success here. Consistent. The next one, urgent. Urgent, write that down, urgent. I got very, very urgent. Urgency is attractive. We're in a people attraction business. If you have, think about this. Have you been frustrated with prospects that are giving the runaround? They check out info, but they just won't decide. They won't sign up. They keep on pushing you off, delaying, ghosting you, whatever. Well, here's the thing. You might be too ho-hum about everything. They might look at you like you're some tortoise, like you're not exciting them. And I always put myself into the shoes of my audience. I'm doing that tonight when I'm talking to you all. I'm trying to be respectful of your feelings, but at the same time, I'm trying to deliver you the information and knowledge that you need so that you can go to the next level. When I'm talking to prospects, I put myself in their shoes. What do they need to hear? And how do I need to come across to them? So, for example, if Jody, I'm looking at Jody on the screen here. If Jody was my prospect and I went to Jody, I'm like, so, Jody, I really do think, you should check out this really exciting opportunity. I mean, it's truly the most incredible thing I've ever seen in my whole life. I mean, can't you just tell how excited I am? I mean, you're going to love this business. I mean, you won't even be able to sleep. It's going to be so exciting to you. So, I mean, some of y'all are like, some of y'all are coming across like, even if you have a great opportunity, which I know you all have a great opportunity, people aren't going to be able to see it because they're judging you and they can't even get to the information. They don't want to see the information based on you. You're like, you're boring. You're just boring. So stop being boring. Are y'all ready to stop being boring? You know what my mentor taught me? Day one in the business. You know what he said? He said two things. Ignorance on fire is more powerful than knowledge on ice. He said, Brian, you don't need to learn everything about this. You don't need to learn all about the product. You don't need to learn the comp plan. You don't need to explain any of that. He said, ignorance on fire is more powerful than knowledge on ice. He said, people buy more on the height of your enthusiasm rather than the depth of your knowledge. The more you know, the more you're going to tend to show up and throw up anyway. You're going to say too much to too few. He said, say less to more people. He also said, light yourself on fire. People come from miles around to watch you burn. So I just made my list, 200 people. In my first 3 days, I contacted 200 people, calling them up on the phone. You got to see this. You got to check this out. You got to see this. You got to check this out. You got to see this. You got to check this out. Like, see what? Check out what? I don't know. All I know is these people I just met are making a fortune in this business project. You need to see what I just saw. Was I talking a little fast there? Was I overly excited? That's how I sounded. And people were floored, blown against the wall, but attracted to it. If you got a phone call like that from your friend that doesn't normally sound like that, oh my gosh, you got to see what I just saw. See what? I don't know. All I know is, write that down. All I know is. ALLS. All I know is. Just don't sound like you're the smartest person in the room. Just be the most excited. Would you rather say, I am smart or I is a millionaire? You don't need to impress anybody. I said, all I know is these people I just met are making a fortune. You need to come see what I just saw. And I invited them out to a meeting across town at a hotel that night or that week or whatever it was. Or if they didn't live near me, I would send them a videotape in a priority mail envelope and wait 3 days for it to get there and they watch the video. Or I'll get them on a conference call, whatever we did back then. But I was excited and I was urgent. I wanted somebody to see the presentation immediately. I didn't say, hey, let's get together next week. It wasn't next week. Let's get together tonight. Oh, you can't? Okay, tomorrow. Like I was urgent. People want to get around people that are going places fast. Even the people you think don't. Even the people that are slow. They don't want to be slow. They want to get around somebody who's moving and grooving. Exciting. They want some energy in their life. People will act more on the fear of loss versus the prospect of gain. So that urgency will help you create FOMO. I would say of the 60 recruits I brought aboard myself this year, or last year, 2023, 60 some recruits, many of them came in because I was excited. I was confident. I told them I was getting ready to sign some other very awesome people up. And if they hurried up and filled out their application, I would put those next people under them. So the compensation plan and the opportunity by itself was already tremendous. Massive opportunity. But the fact they didn't want to miss a couple of recruits put under them cause them to take action immediately. In my Building an Empire book, it's on a chapter called Dangling the Carrot. I dangled that carrot of a couple of recruits if they hurry up and fill out their application right now. It works wonderfully. So be urgent. The next hallmark, I was a vision seller. Always selling the vision. And there were 3 visions that I would sell. I would sell the overall company vision. I would sell my vision of what I was building in the business. And then I would sell them on their vision. So the company vision, my vision, and then the prospect's vision. Or if I'm talking to a team member, the team member's vision. Always be selling the vision. Here's something else I learned in recent years. This is going to be a little ahead of your time, but you're going to need to know this, and better to know it now sooner than later. People can't join your past. I got to remind myself a lot of times. I can say, I've made 25 million or now $26 million. People are like, good for you. Doesn't mean anything to me. They're like, I don't care how much money you made in your past. But if I said, hey, I've made 26 million and I'm going to make another 26 million in half the time, and in order for that to happen, I need to help you make 5 million, they can join the future, but they can't join the past. If you ever find yourself sharing with people accolades from the past, do it, but be quick about it. Do it to validate and give credibility to yourself or to your company or your opportunity, but get it out of the way quickly and shift your conversation towards the future. Remember, write that down. People cannot join your past. They can only join your future. So say, hey, look, here's what we've done, but more importantly, here's where we're going. In my business, in my company, I tell people, if we're a 9-inning baseball game, we're going into maybe the 2nd or 3rd inning. The future is still wide open out in front of us, because people need to know that. Some people have been taught this fallacy, and by the way, it is a fallacy that you have to be in the beginning at the ground floor of a company, which is not true. I got into my company, Legal Shield, when it was already 27 years old. 27-year-old company. And a lot of people that knew network marketing, who've been around the network marketing business for a while, they're like, oh, Brian, you're wasting your time. That company's old hat. You missed the boat. It's not ground floor. You can't make any money. I'm like, most ground floor companies never make it off the ground. I don't want a ground floor company. I want a rock solid company tapping into a ground floor industry. I want to put my head on my pillow at night, knowing when I wake up tomorrow, my company, my residual check is going to be there. So always be selling the vision. Next hallmark. Got a lot of hallmarks. All right. Next one. I've always been a goal getter. A goal getter. We talked earlier about setting goals. I did it publicly, and I did it privately. I did it for accountability reasons, and I also did it to inspire. I told people, here's what I'm going to go out there and do, and here's how much I'm going to go earn. I wanted my mouth to put me in a position where I needed to live up to my mouth. For public, for my family, and at the beginning, I didn't have a family yet, but when I got married, here's what I'm doing. When I had kids, here's what I'm doing. To my mentors. And by the way, the next thing I wrote down here, as far as another hallmark of mine, in addition to being a goal getter, I was a mentor impresser. I set out to impress my mentor every day. I wanted to be my mentor's prized subject, prized protege. I want my mentor to be bragging about, oh my gosh, this guy, Brian, I taught, here's what he's done. Like a proud dad, thinking about my mentors were guys. I wanted to be like I wanted them to be proud of me. Like I wanted my own dad to be proud of me. I wanted my mentors to be proud of me. I wanted to earn their time, earn their attention, earn their energy. If you guys have, guys and gals, if you all have mentors that you want their time and attention, earn it. Impress them. And you can't control certain things. You can't impress them with your results. You can't control the results, but you can impress them with your activity and your personal development. So become a personal development fanatic and be an income producing activity fanatic. Just let nobody else on the team outwork you, and let your mentor know what you're doing. Your mentor needs to know that you're trying your butt off. You're consistent, you're focused, you're obsessed, you're urgent, you're all in, you're not negotiable, you're bulletproof. You're doing all these things we're talking about, all these hallmarks, you're making that you. Your mentor needs to know that. The more confident in you that they're seeing that in you, they're going to invest more and more and more of their time in you. And together, you and your mentor gives you that chance to be able to become successful the way you want. Two more. I became a split-second marketer. Split-second marketer. I was working 60 hours a week in real estate when I got into network marketing. I didn't have time. But guess what? I made time. I made time. We can all make time for things that are important to us. I see people making excuses all the time. They got their alibi. I've got a wife or a husband, or I got kids. I got church. I got, an ailing mom I'm taking care of. I've got, all these things. But there's people with all those things that are still succeeding in their business. So you can still find time to block out for your business, or you can find split-second marketing opportunities. Like when you're in a store checking out with your groceries, whether it's the cashier or the person behind you, strike up a combo, split second, make a new friend, get their contact information, call them later. When you're at a restaurant, the server comes over, taking your order, compliment them. Next time they come back, compliment them again. Next time they come back to refill your drink, don't do it the first time they come over to take your order, but later on when they come over. Hey, you really are amazing. I love your personality. How long have you been working here? Are you just a server today? You seem like you're the manager of this place. Like, make them feel great about themselves and say, hey, do you plan on working here for a long time, or what's on your radar screen? No, I'm just working here part-time while I'm getting through school, or I'm, working on this, or I'm got another job or whatever. Say, hey, look, do you keep your income options open to side projects if the money's exciting enough? Split second, guys, split second. I was split second marketing all over the place. Here's another thing I did. I squeezed more drops of juice out of the lemon than anybody else. We do what we call PBRs, private business receptions in people's homes, where let's say it's 7 o'clock in somebody's living room. They would invite a bunch of people over. I would go there to do a presentation, sign up everybody that wanted to sign up afterward. We called it a PBR. Well, if I had a half an hour drive to and from the PBR, on the way there, I would make 10 phone calls. Then I would do the PBR, and then on the way home, I'd make 10 phone calls. I was squeezing in another, let's just call it 15, 20 conversations, 15 or 20 phone calls, when other people in our business would listen to the radio on the way to the meeting. They do the work at the meeting, and then they'd listen to music on the way home. And they felt justified, like, hey, I did a meeting tonight for 45 minutes. So I did my work for my business today. Okay, good. Yes, you did. Other people didn't even do that. So at least you did that. But you could have made 15 or 20 more phone calls in the drive time. And some of those could have turned into new recruits on your team. So what I'm trying to help you guys with is there's time you can find to squeeze in those split-second activities that compound over time. And, when you get good at that, like while you're cooking dinner, put your earbuds in and make a phone call. I'm gonna gross you all out right now. You guys okay with getting grossed out? You're never gonna be able to get this out of your mind ever again. You're never gonna see me the same. I've been sitting on the toilet with my earbuds in, talking to prospects. Is what it is. And I never flushed while I was on the phone. They never heard it, right? But I just don't make excuses. I like to sit on the toilet for a while, and look, ladies, your husband's the same way. Anybody else like to be on there for like 10 minutes? I can make like 5 phone calls while I'm sitting there. All right. You're never going to see me again the same way. I apologize. The last hallmark. Pipeline pumper. I was always pumping people into my prospect pipeline. One of my mentors early on, actually, it was Eric Worre, way back in the late 90s, before he became the guy who he is today. He was a personal mentor of mine, and he called it having 10 in play. 10 in play. He said at any given time, you need to have 10 prospects in play, meaning they're somewhere in between contacting them and piquing their interest and signing up. They're somewhere in there, contacting and signing up. So maybe you've contacted them, asked them to check out some info, and maybe you send them a video to watch, or maybe you invited them to a Zoom, or maybe they saw the video, but they haven't signed up yet. And now they need more follow-ups. They need more questions answered. They need something else to look at, something else to review. They're doing their due diligence, whatever. He said, always have at least 10 people in play. 10 people in play. That's what he taught everybody in the company. So what did I do? Because I'm a freak. So what did I do? I wanted to make millions, not thousands. So I'm like, I'm going to have 50 in play. Like I just cranked the number up. That's your hot list, by the way. 10 in play, that's your hot list. The more people you have on your hot list, the better it's going to be when you block out an hour or two. Here's what I want you all to do. You can do it like tomorrow if you have a full pipeline. If you don't have a full pipeline, you're going to need to spend several days or a few weeks filling the pipeline, getting more people in play. And then you're going to do the chapter Dangle the Carrot, where you're going to block out an hour. And you're going to start calling everybody that's in play. And it's going to go something like this. Let's say Larry is the first guy on my list. And he happens to be the first square next to me on my Zoom screen. So, hey, Larry, I like your haircut, by the way. So I say to Larry, hey, Larry, hey, it's Brian Carruthers. Hey, look, you and I chatted a few weeks ago about the opportunity to work with us from home. And I wanted to give you a call. And this is very urgent and very important. I feel like I'm the Godfather in the movie. Like I'm calling to make you a deal that you won't be able to refuse. I've got several people that I've got appointments with who are going to be talking with me about signing up and coming on board and getting into this business. And these are some really sharp people I'm talking to. And so here's the thing. I really want you to be a part of this, and I don't want you to miss out. So if you hurry up and spend 3 minutes and fill out the application and get it submitted before they do, I'm going to bring them on board. I'm going to put them under you, which means you're going to earn potential overrides and residuals on all the business they bring into this company forever. You buy your computer? All right, good. I just sent you a link. Click it and open it and let me know when the website pops up. It did? All right, go ahead and fill out the information here, put in your address and your phone and email and all that. I'll wait. Let me know when you're done. And I'll just stay on the line and walk him through the application. If he's out and about, he's not by his computer, and he tells me that, I'm saying, hey, no worries. Let me pull it up. Hold on a sec, Larry. All right, cool. What's your street address? And I'm going to type it in for him. I'm not letting him off the phone. We're signing him up. Because he's not going to want to miss out on that fear of loss of missing out on those recruits I've told him I'm going to put underneath of him. So if I've got a 10 in play or a hot list of 10 people or 20 people or 30 or 40 people, I can legit say that with confidence to Larry. I've got people I'm getting ready to talk to bring on board. So I sign up Larry, and then I go to the next one, Sheila. Say, hey, Sheila. Hey, it's Brian Carruthers. You and I spoke, several days ago about the opportunity with our company. I know you were excited about it, but you were telling me that you just kind of wanted to put it off until, after the new year. And by the way, let's say it's not the same time. You say, hey, you want to put it off for a couple months or whatever because you're really busy. Say, look, here's the thing. I know you're busy. I know you don't want to get involved right now, but I've got several people I'm getting ready to bring on board. And I think they're going to do really big things in this business. If you hurry up and fill out your application, which will take about 3 minutes right now, I'll go ahead and put you in, and then I'll bring these other folks on board. I'll put them underneath you, and that way you'll get a chance to override and get overrides and residuals and all the business they bring in this company forever. And even if you're not ready to really work the business right now, go ahead and do that. I'm going to put these people on and start building a team for you. And then when you're ready, you can at that point jump on board and get going, but you'll already have a head start with a team already working underneath of you. You'll already have a leverage working in your favor. Isn't that awesome? All right, hold up. Let me pull this up for you here real quick. I want to go ahead and get you signed up. What's your street address, Sheila? Boom, 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 boom. And I'm just going to work that list. I'm going to call 10, 20, 30. If I got 30 people on my list, I'm going to, in that hour, I'm going to make as many calls and get a hold of as many as I can. My record was signing up 13 recruits in one day, dangling the carrot like that. 13 in one day. For the month, it was 31 recruits for the month. In 1 month. Most people don't recruit 31 people in their whole career. I did in 1 month. How did I do it? I kept on pumping more people into my pipeline, getting more people into play, and then doing some of those dangling the carrot calling sessions and making that offer, and then building them straight down in a line, one under another, under another, under another. It works brilliantly. The leg I started in my organization last year, I was building them straight down with all my recruits, placing them all straight down in a line. I've got somebody on my 40th level that just hit the top position in our company last month. And he's only been in the company for less than 2 months. Guess what? Everybody above that person, they've got serious motivation to go out there and get their business going so they can start picking up the overrides on all that volume that this guy's doing. It's the most powerful thing. All right. So we've been on here for a good hour and a half almost. Let me just look at my notes here and just see if there's anything I don't want to miss. And then I'm going to open it up for a little Q&A. If you have a question you've been dying to ask, think about that right now, because I'll have a few minutes for Q&A at the end of this. So here's a nice big tip for you. What can you post on social media right now that can generate some prospect conversations for you? That's probably a really timely question. So I would post something like this. I found an amazing side gig or side hustle for my New Year's resolution to make more money this year. And it's got me jacked up. Anybody else looking for something like that? Question mark. I mean, that right there is going to get conversations. You're going to get people that are going to ask you for info in the comments, or they're going to click the like. Here, this is something people don't realize. If you post something like that, I found this amazing side hustle for my New Year's resolution to make more money this year. It's got me all pumped. Anybody else looking for something solid like that? You might get, let's say, 7 comments, which obviously are leads. Reach out to them one at a time quickly. Private message them or call them, okay? But you might have another 12 people that click like. Here's what happens. Click the like. Click the number 12, the little blue underscored 12. Click that number. You know what it's going to do? It's going to give you a drop-down menu of all the friends on Facebook that click the like button. You know what you do? Look on that list. Which ones of those people are already in your business? You don't need to call them. They're already in. But let's say 7 of them are already in the business. They just liked it because they appreciate what you're doing. 5 of them are not in your business. Reach out to those, each of them privately, with a Facebook message that says something like, hey, Bill, I saw you click the like button on my post about my new side gig for my New Year's resolution. Did you like it because you're looking for something, or you liked it because you found something great too? And he might say, no, I thought that's great. I don't have anything for myself yet. I need to find something. Awesome. Well, hey, look, you want to see what I found? It might be a great fit for you too. Yeah. Okay, great. Here, check out this video or jump on a Zoom tonight. So don't just fish within the comment section. Click the like drop down and fish through all the people that like your post as well. How many of you guys in the comments, be real, how many of you guys did not know or were not doing that? Let me see some of y'all, what y'all are going to say about that. How many of you guys did not know or were not doing that? Bunch of you guys. All right, good. Some value right there. Lastly, and then we'll get to some Q&A. I had a conversation with a new recruit today. Guys, he's a really great guy. I've got big hopes for him. Came on board a couple of weeks ago, right before the holiday. And we got on the phone today to get things launched for him. And I was coaching him on how to prospect the people he knows. And he said he had a few conversations with people so far. He was having a hard time getting them interested enough to move forward to check out info. He said, maybe I'm talking too much, or I'm like, yep, for sure. And that's common. Like just about everybody talks too much. I said, here's the thing. What you do to your prospect, while you're doing it to them, they're asking themselves, even unconsciously, they're asking themselves, can I or do I want to do this to my friends? So if you're going into this long spiel with your prospects, even if your spiel is great, even if it's the best spiel they've ever actually tasted, they're either going to sign up and then try to do that same spiel to their friends, and they're not going to be as good as you, and they're going to fail, and they're going to quit. Or they're not even going to sign up in the first place because they might say, that was amazing, but I don't have time, and I can't see myself doing that spiel to people. You guys catch what I'm saying here? So I had to explain to him the power of third party and the power of being brief, baby, be brief. Be vague. Don't say the company name. Don't get into any details about anything. You want to pique their interest. Something simple. You keep your income options open, decide projects so the money's exciting enough. Or, hey, you know, I'm going into the new year, got a New Year's resolution to put myself in a better position financially than last year. And I'm not going to do it by doing the same thing I've always been doing. So I wanted to get a side project with some residual cash flow coming in. Found an awesome project. Have you ever been looking for something like this for yourself? I can show you what I'm doing. Whatever it is, pique their interest. And then immediately point them to a third-party presentation. I don't know what your presentation looks like. Everybody's in different companies on here. We have a 20-minute presentation for our company on a video or a 20, 25-minute live Zoom every night. And so when you're talking to your prospect, if you pique their interest and point them to a presentation somebody else is doing, during the presentation, they're listening and they're like, hey, is this a good product? Is there a good opportunity here? They're looking for that, but they're also saying, can I do to others what was just done to me? Can I peek and pass? Can I peek and pass? Can I pique somebody's interest and pass them over to a Zoom or a video or something else to check out? And if they should, almost everybody can say, yes, I can peek and pass. Split second marketing. It's not going to take much time. I can fit this into my life. It fits through the filters of duplication. You want your prospect to say, I can do that. So my final tip here is make sure your conversation in that recruiting conversation is explaining to them what they'll be doing. Because if they think it's harder than it's going to be, or they think they are going to need a lot of time, which they don't, then they're not going to join. So I've got a couple out in California, Liz and David, who just hit our top level of platinum for the third month in a row. Their recruiting has gone from 60 recruits 2 months ago to 128 recruits last month. I mean, literally more than doubled. They're on fire. And what they're saying and their team is saying to their prospects is, we're a digital marketing company. What your role is going to be is to sit on your couch and send out some marketing messages by way of email, text, or messenger to a Zoom or a video for people to watch. Can you see yourself sitting on the couch and sending out some messages for us? Any prospect can say, heck yeah, I can see myself sitting on my couch and shooting out some messages to make extra money. Because after all, guys, isn't that what we're after? We want people to get third-party messages out to people. Now, is that oversimplified? Slightly. But here's the thing. When you share with them what they're going to be doing and they can say to themselves, I can do that, then you sign them up. And then when you onboard them, you say, okay, here's how you do this. Okay, we're going to help you make a list of everybody you know. We're going to give you some swipe copy, which is your copy and paste language you're going to send to people that are on your list, whether it be a text or a messenger on Facebook or an email, whatever your preferred way of communicating with these different people are. We're going to give you the language and you're going to go sit on your couch. Matter of fact, what we've been doing lately is we're getting every new recruit to take swipe copy and send it out to 40 contacts in their phone, asking them to jump on a Zoom that night to hear about a project that they're working on and they're at, and the language is like, I need to get 40 people to check out this information. Would you be one of those people to hop on there for me for 20 minutes tonight? Can I ask that favor of you? It would mean the world to me. You're not asking anybody to buy anything, join anything, commit to anything. You're just saying, hey, can you jump on and do me a favor and be one of the 40? I've got to get to watch this from a company I'm working with. I'm trying to earn a promotion, whatever you got to say. So again, you want duplication, and your way you're going to get that is for your prospect to say, I can do what was just done to me. Keep it simple and explain the simplicity, and you're going to see your recruiting go through the roof. There's no way it won't. All right, hour and a half in. Let's do a little Q&A. Anybody, just raise your hand, raise your digital hand, not your physical hand, but just click the raise hand button at the bottom. If you have any kind of a question that you feel I can remove a stone or a rock in your road in front of you going forward in 2024 so that we can give you some smooth sailing. Let's go out to start with Connie.
Great. Thank you, Brian, so much for everything that you have done. Look at here. I have a large contact list. I've added people to my list over the years, 2 a day. Like you said, just add them to the funnel. I don't remember them, don't know where I met them. How do I go back and contact them? What do I say?
Great question. And if you're considering hopping off right now, if you have to, you have to. But if not, stick around for just a little Q&A. Because some of the stuff I delivered to you, maybe that was helpful for you. But some of the things that I've learned the most from was when I was at events and somebody else in the audience asked the speaker something that I didn't even know to ask. I wasn't even ready for that. I didn't even have that question in my mind yet. But I learned so much, and then it caused me not to have to fail through that, or not to be stumped by it in my future. So great question. So let's say, Connie, about how many prospects do you have in your backlog?
Okay, there are over 700 names on that list.
Okay, awesome. So if you have 700 people, what I would do is I get some couch time, and I craft a message that you're just going to copy and paste and send them as soon as you can. Something like, hey, this is Connie. You and I chatted a while back about an opportunity to work with our company from home as a side project. I don't know if anything has changed for you, but in the new year now, do you keep your income options open to side projects if the money's exciting enough? And if you send that out right now, while people are doing their New Year's resolution, thought process, out of 700, I bet you're going to find at least 10 or 15 that will reply back to that. Sure. Yeah. What's going on? And then those people, you're just going to say, oh, awesome. I'm glad I reached back out to you again. Hey, if I sent you a 20-minute video, what time might you watch it? And get them the video, or get them on a Zoom, or whatever your process is in your company. So hopefully that helps. I hope it helps a lot of you all. Let's go out to Bridget.
Hi, Brian.
Hey
Thank you so much. Brian, my question is when you said you dangling the carrot, and I've read that chapter over and over again in your book, but when you say that you do it right at home and you put it on, or what do you send them as far as saying the 3-minute registration? What do you do? How do you do that? I don't know how to do that.
Well, I just send them the sign up link. So our company has a website that we send people to, and they go on there and they click the join now and they fill out the form. So I either send them the website for them to fill it out on their own, and I stay on the phone and walk them through it verbally to make sure it gets done, or I just pull it up on my website on my computer and I take their information. I keep punching in on my side.
Okay. So that's what you do. Use your website on the Prospect app.
Yeah. And I want to keep this totally generic because everybody's in different companies here, but whatever your website is. So you've got in your company, you've got what we call the Walls website, your wearelegalshield.com website.
Right. Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you very much. And this was awesome.
Absolutely. Let's go out to Jody.
Thank you. And I just got your book, and I'm a newbie.
Welcome.
I'm instead of another company, I'm starting one, and I'm a thoroughbred breeder, and I'm going to help other people get involved in that and become counselors. But my product is, we'll have 10 foals. It's quite a bit of money. It's $18,500 for 10%. Would that make it, can you tell me what I might have to do differently? Because of a lot of products in multi or in network marketing were of a lower amount of money. Would there be anything I'd have to do differently, I guess, would be the question.
Yeah, I mean, for higher ticket opportunities, whether it be higher ticket products, you're technically not supposed to have a high buy-in on the opportunity side. The FTC will come in and shut you down if you're making money off recruiting fees, which is not what you're saying, I know. But if you got a high ticket product that you have, I've coached a few other, I've been hired as a consultant to help some company owners that are doing some higher level tickets. Yes, you have to change things up a little bit. You can't just, tell somebody, hey, you're going to sit on the couch and send out this message
No.
in the same way. There might be a little bit steeper, product learning curve. There might be a different audience that you're going to be targeting. So where you target those leads from for somebody that might be into that kind of a vertical. So yeah, you're not where you prospect for those prospects. It's probably a niche kind of a prospect that would be interested in it. And then the language and the process of, if they're going to spend a lot more money than $100, because a typical network marketing product is about $100, let's say, or a buy-in to get started up in a business. If it's more than that, they're probably going to, you have to be willing to understand they're going to need more due diligence. So, a deeper dive, a thorough website, video presentation, you as the expert, obviously making yourself available to do three-way closing calls to get the process going and get enough key leaders in your company trained up so that they can actually do what you're doing at the beginning. But right now you're going to have to wear all those hats. You're going to have to figure out where the lead gen is going to be best done. You're going to have to create the best pitch. You're going to have to do the three-way calls.
Right. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yes, for sure. Good luck with it, man.
I'm going to use.
Let's go out to Sheila.
Thank you, Mr. Carruthers. It's been wonderful. I have a couple that wants to get an ID shield. They're not interested in the legal, but do we have a new identity theft?
Sheila, you have to reach out to me offline after this, because this is not a company specific training. This is
I'm sorry. Okay.
No worries.
Okay.
Just reach out to me because you're in the same company as me, so I can help you with that.
Okay. Thank you.
Absolutely. Raul.
Hey, Brian, thanks for everything. So I'm gonna keep it real with you, just because that's also who I am. But I'm much of a realistic person versus an idealistic person. And I know a lot of the ideas, the verbiage that's used is ideal situations, so what you want to happen, but it's not always what happens. I need to change that. How can I do that? I mean,
Well,
I'm hopeful, yes.
To me, it's always, here's the baseline, what you want to happen, and everything pivots from there. So, yes, I totally agree. Like the conversations I'm having is, this is what they say, this is what I say. I close them like this, offering them to put these recruits under them, dangle the carrot. They say yes, I fill out the form. Utopian, yes. It's not always going to work 100%. If I contact 20 people in that hour while I'm sitting there dangling the carrot, out of 20, I might sign up 2 or 3. Other people are going to say, no, I'm still not ready, or you're an idiot, or whatever. So, but you pivot as needed. So sometimes they're going to raise an objection, and it's going to take you onto a detour off the highway, answer the question, and then bring them back onto the highway into the line of conversation that you're trying to lead all along. That detour might be you answering the question, or even better yet, you say, hey, great question, hold on, and then do a 3-way call with a third-party expert that you edify, give them the credibility so they can answer the question with authority and help close them for you while the 3-way call is happening. which I always believe third-party presentation and then a third-party expert doing the answering and the closing for you. So, but yeah, idealistically, it's going to all work perfectly. 99.9% of the time, there's going to be some sort of a stone thrown in front of you, and you just got to learn how to not trip over it and just navigate it. To me, I always look at myself like an ant. And I would encourage you all to look at yourselves like an ant. Like if an ant is trying to go to the end of the driveway in front, it doesn't matter what they come across. They come across a brick or a stick or a little crack in the cement. It's going to go over, under, around. It's going to go where it's got to go. It's going to find a way. And that's what we as network marketers got to do. In every conversation, you go wherever you need to go to get around whatever obstacle comes up to get to the other side where you're trying to go. Anything else you want to clarify in the question? Does that help you at all? I mean, obviously, I'm agreeing that it's not going to be idealistic all the time, but you just have to learn how to pivot the conversation.
Yeah, I was talking more about me. When people say you're gonna earn this much, you're gonna, you make this much, or like, okay, let me give you an example. The 2 a day that you mentioned. Where does that come from? How did you get the number 2?
The number 2 was, and by the way, I just answered a whole question, which was not even the question you asked, but I gave some training content. Hopefully you guys got value out of that. So the 2 came from my mentor, Jeff Olson, who was my mentor many, many moons ago. He always said, the number 2 came from, it's something that everybody can do. Okay. This business is not for full-timers. Now, some people quit their jobs because they just do really well at it. But 98% of network marketers, probably 99% of network marketers are part-time. A part-timer can see themselves finding time each day to get 2 people to have a conversation with. So it's doable. It's palatable. People can see themselves doing it. If I said we got to do 10 a day, 90% of people were like, I'm not even going to bother trying because I can't see myself doing 10 a day. I might be able to do it one day, but I can't do it like a bunch of days in a row. But most people can see themselves doing 2 a day consistently without having to take a big break because they're not even breaking a sweat doing that. That's why the 2 a day. And the other thing is, what would happen if you had 2,000 people every day looking at your business? Your business would explode, right? Well, here's the key. If you do 2 a day, and you start getting people on your team little by little, few by few, starting to do 2 a day, well, guess what's going to happen? If you recruit 5, who recruit 5, who recruit 5. So you got 5, 25, 6, 25, 31, 25, 61. So soon enough, 5 recruiting 5, recruiting 5. So it's 5, 25, 125, 625. If you just build your team 4 levels deep, right there, you're closing in on 1,000 people, each doing 2 a day. That's 2,000 exposures a day for your business. You're only doing 2 yourself. Everybody in your team is only doing a max of 2 themselves. Now, you might do more. You might have a few others that do more, and you have someone to do 0. So it's not everybody's going to all do 2 a day. Some will do more, some will do less, but it's a great foundational point that everybody can say, I can do it. And again, that's what everything about network marketing is all about. You want your prospects to say, I can do it. You want your team members to say, I can do it.
Gotcha. Thank you.
You got it. Good seeing you, man. Let's go out to Shanitra. And we'll have 2 more. We'll have Robert and Cynthia Val, and then we'll be wrapping up. And I got a couple closing things for you.
Can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
How are you? So one, thanks for the invite and the training. I've been following you for years, and I would consider you a mentor, right? I'm at a different place in life and have had the opportunity to have additional mentors. So I wanted to ask a question about recruiting up. What do you recommend saying to those individuals that may be in another stage of life? They're getting ready to retire. Money is not necessarily their focus, but they may be looking to do something in their spare time, not necessarily a full-time job. They've already left that, but something to keep them busy and, so that they can keep their brain active and keep going. So that's my question. I really want to know about talking to those people that are mentors to me.
So that is a great question. And I'd be very careful about making assumptions that can possibly offend them. So if you said to somebody that might be getting on in years, they're getting ready to retire, you can't say, hey, do you need an opportunity to do something on the side so you can keep your brain sharp? They're like, what are you talking about? So what I would do is I would use the indirect approach that I talk about in building an empire, which is is stroking their ego by really complimenting them, saying something like, let's say Jonathan is your uncle or a successful person that you look up to. You're trying to recruit this person that you look up to, recruiting up. I would say, Jonathan, the reason I'm reaching out to you today is because I've admired you for years. I've seen what you've done, what you've built, the life you've created for your family. You're successful. It's inspiring to me. I want to do that in my own life. And I've been taught that you can either go beat your head against the wall, trying to figure it out on your own, or you can get advice from people who've already been there and done it. And I'm just wondering if I can ask a favor, because I admire you so much and I respect your opinion. Would you be willing to take a look at an overview of a business project that I'm considering putting a lot of energy into before I get too far down the road on it? Would you just watch a short video or attend a short Zoom and look at it for me? And afterward, tell me your honest opinion. Do you feel like this is a great path for me or not? And then they're going to do that because you made them feel awesome. And you told them how much you respect them. And they jump on there because you've asked now. And when they watch it afterward, you say, so tell me, what did you like most? Don't say, what did you think? Don't say, are you interested? Say, what did you like best about it? Ask for a good answer. You tend to get a good answer. Say, what did you like best about what you saw? They might say, this is horrible. They might say, oh, that's MLM. Those are all evil. I mean, they might have an opinion that you don't agree with. But they might say, no, that sounds like it would be a great opportunity for you. And then that's when you can say, well, first of all, thank you for investing your time in me and giving me your opinion. That means the world to me. And then you can simply say something like, do you happen to know anybody that might be in the market right now for a side project to be able to supplement their income or build residuals for retirement, or just want to be a part of an amazing mission like this company and be around great people? And if they're somebody who's like, they don't need to do it for the money, they might be wanting to be involved for the mission or the impact or being around great people. So you can kind of just mention that in that final question, asking if they knew anybody that might, want it for those reasons. And they might say me, or they might say my son or my sister. That help you a little bit?
Helps a lot. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Awesome. All right. We've got just two more here. Let's go out to Robert.
Hey, so can you hear me?
I can.
Hey, Coach. First of all, you are truly appreciated. And I did want to say to you what I say to God every day, and that is thank you. I'm an agent with Homeland Security. I love my full-time career. Love it, love it, love it. They pay me extremely, extremely well for what I do. I travel all over the world, hunting down bad guys before they get to us. And that's something that I hold true to my heart.
Well, thank you.
Sometimes,
What do you do?
thank you. I appreciate that. And sometimes I use that as an excuse not to do my side business. And to be transparent and truly honest with you, I hate follow-ups. I'm horrible at follow-ups. Is there something, and I hear it all the time, fortune is in the follow-up. Fortune is in the follow-up. I hear that. I truly believe it, but I'm still horrible at it. My question to you is tonight, what can I do starting tonight? I guess taking small steps to get myself more motivated and better at the follow-up, something that I'm just terrible at.
Well, appreciate you being vulnerable and sharing that. I guess I've got a couple of underlying questions. Number one, why are you even bothering with network marketing? Gotta unmute yourself. Sorry.
Being in federal agent, being in law enforcement, I see how unjust the justice system truly is in this company. And for me now, it's more of the mission of helping people, especially get to where I am and beyond. Because at one point in my life, in my 20s and 30s, I was broke, busted, and disgusted. Didn't have two nickels to rub together. But now, you know, financially, it's really not an issue. And I see how I read the reports, I get the intel every day on what's going on, especially in local law enforcement. And I think that's one of the reasons why the Legal Shield was so appealing to me. It was like, you know, people need this. I'm a federal agent. I have it. I would never live without it. People need to know this, that they no longer have to be taken advantage of. And that was the initial point of me really getting involved, is to helping people. But
Gotcha.
I'm still horrible at follow-up.
So, and again, I want to ask everybody to appreciate that there's people from all different network marketing companies on here. So I don't want to even mention company names, products, and so forth. And what I was really after, you know, I'm getting from you what I needed to get anyway. You speak glowingly about your job. You love what you do, chasing down the bad guys. You're paid very, very well. So you speak glowingly of that, which not everybody does about their current career. When somebody does not speak glowingly about their current career, it's a lot easier to help them figure out what their why is for doing their business. When you're glowing about your career, you've got to figure out what's going to be your driving force to get you to do the stuff that you just don't enjoy doing. I can relate to you, Robert. Now, I'm not Superman chasing around bad guys. Okay. So again, I applaud you and I appreciate you because I sleep better at night because of you. I was in a family real estate business. I did enjoy real estate. I was pretty good at it. I could have stuck with it for the rest of my life and had my name on signs all over people's yards all across Maryland, DC, and Virginia. When I left the family real estate business, we had 24 offices with thousands of agents. And I was Brian Carruthers of Prudential Carruthers Realtors. I mean, I was in my 20s and I felt like I had the cat by the tail in life. So I could speak glowingly about the path I was on like you are. So why did I get into network marketing? I saw the business model and I saw I can make a ton of money. I can do it where I would get upfront linear and override income. I could do that in real estate as well. I can get paid upfront money when I sold a house. I could get paid overrides if I recruited agents. But if every agent stopped selling houses, my income would go to zero. If every person in my network marketing downline stopped selling the product, all the customers that were still on the product, I would get paid residuals on for the rest of their lives. So I really, really, really understood the business model of network marketing. And again, even though I loved the real estate path I was on, I also loved the residual income promise. Then I fell also in love with the company mission. I also fell in love with the opportunity to help others. Like if I recruited a real estate agent into our real estate company, was I setting them free? Was I putting them on a path to financial freedom and building wealth? Heck no. But if I do it in my network marketing business, I could help them to get free. I can help them build wealth. So there was a lot in it for me that I got excited about with network marketing. Now, to get your question of you can't get yourself sometimes to do the follow-up. You said you're horrible at follow-up. I don't know that you're horrible at follow-up. It sounds to me like you're horrible at getting yourself to be disciplined enough to pick up the phone and do the follow-up. I bet you're probably not bad at follow-up. Would that be accurate?
Yes, that's more accurate. Yeah.
Okay.
You put it that way.
Because you're a well-spoken guy, and I bet you don't have a hard time, edifying your upline expert and getting a three-way call to happen. When you try to do it, I bet you're not having a problem doing it that much. So it comes down to, you've got to get to a place, and I had to do this myself. You have to get to a place. Look, I work out enough to stay fit, like to look fit. I'm not my cardio wise, like I about died doing a 4-mile hike with my wife, my brother, his girlfriend, and his 2 daughters. The 6 of us went on a hike up in West Virginia last Saturday. My brother does 100-mile bike rides. He's exercising cardio every day, eats vegan. Me, I sit in my chair, I sit on my couch, I walk around the house, I go out once in a while. I'm not fit. I look it just enough. Like I work out just enough, right? I read books. Not because I like reading. I really don't like reading at all, but I like what I get from reading. I work out because I like what I get from working out. I don't drink sodas, not because I don't enjoy the taste of a soda. I used to love sodas, but I stopped drinking them because I like, because I'm healthier not drinking soda. So sometimes we got to just get ourselves to be disciplined and do the things that we don't like to do because we like what we get from doing it. So focus, Robert, on what is the end game vision that you're after? Why are you here? What are you doing this for? And then associate what you're doing it for with the necessary activity to get that accomplished. And the follow-up, look, why bother doing the exposures only to leave those people hanging? It's not fair to them.
Right.
You're doing them a disservice by, it's like nanny nanny boo boo. It's like, hey, let me show you a great opportunity, but I'm going to disappear on you and not help you get started. It's like, that's not even nice. So, you know, you know the drill. You already quoted it. Fortune's in the follow-up. You know, give yourself a goal of if you're doing 2 exposures a day, do at least 2 follow-ups a day. I've got and I don't know if you guys, you want to know why I had the biggest financial year of my life last year for my network marketing business? It's because of this right here. It's Empire Builders Planner. I'm not here trying to sell planners. I'm simply saying because of what I put in this planner last year in 2023 is why I had a great year in 2023. So in here, find a page where I didn't write on it so you can see it. Okay. So this is one where I was out of town and I didn't write anything in it. But this right here, you can see you got the activity trackers. And then you got your victory circle where you write down your victories of things that you did that you're proud of. In here, you can keep your accountability. So it's got your social media posts, it's got your personal development, it's got your 2-a-day invites, and it's got your 2-a-day follow-ups. So Robert, sounds like you of all people, because you asked the question, you should go to empirebuildersplanner.com and get one of these planners and put in your 2-a-day exposures and your 2-a-day follow-ups, and never let a day go by where you don't have a number 2 in there. Does that make sense?
Makes a lot of sense. Yes. And I do have the planner. I do. And I am getting the 24.
So if that's what you're saying, then whoever your upline ultimate coach that you respect is, one that's, you know, that's accessible to you and that you are personally working with, I would have a conversation with them tonight or tomorrow and let them know about this conversation, let them know the struggle you have with follow-ups, and that you ask for their willingness to lean into you and hold you accountable to doing your 2-a-day follow-ups.
Got it.
At the end of every week, you should have an agreement that you're going to send a screenshot of that page in your planner showing that you did at least two follow-ups every single day. When you make that commitment to your coach, to your mentor, you're far more likely that you're going to go do it. And when you do it, you're going to start and you get the results from it. See, people don't like things that they are not getting results from. Right. So if you're getting nothing but rejection, you're going to do less and less and less of it. And the less you do of it, you're assuring that you're going to get less results. You start doing what we're talking about right now in the next 30 days, you start getting more people signing up because you're doing the follow-ups relentlessly and in a determined fashion. Guess what's going to happen? You're not going to be begrudgingly doing the follow-ups as much as you are right now.
Got it. Thank you so much, sir. Please continue to do what you do to help us. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. I promised one more, Cynthia Val, and then we're going to have to wrap. Sorry, Jennifer and anybody else, because I got a hard stop at 10 o'clock and I've gone over, and I want to get you guys into your new year cranking.
Well, First of all, let me just say thank you so much for this training. And also I want to say thanks to Robert too, because the issue that he raised is one that I struggle with too. So everything that you told him, I'm going to take and apply to myself. My question is basically, how often do you go back to people that you've made exposures to, but they didn't respond to follow-ups? You know, they ghost you, they don't answer phone calls or anything.
I hit them from every angle.
Okay.
You know, if they don't respond to a phone call, I text. If they don't respond to text, I email. So I'll try everything. And if they start ghosting me, they're just not going to be on my priority list, but they're still on a list. I will try to get them into an email campaign. They have to opt into that. So they may not even opt into it. So I can't count on them going to an email campaign. That's why it's important, if you have an autoresponder or an email campaign, get them into it, get them opting into it early in the conversation while their interest level is at its highest.
Okay.
At the very beginning, get them into it quickly. Because if they lose interest in your conversation because they judged you, they judged something that they heard or whatever, it's going to be hard for them to ever pick up a phone call from you, but they might get a monthly email from you for the next year or whatever your campaign is designed to do. And then, you know, look, if they sound like they're sharp and you truly think they'd be an asset to your team and they're just ghosting you, don't judge, because they might be going through something really difficult in their life and they just don't have the bandwidth to deal with you. Doesn't mean they're a bad person. I had people that gave me the runaround for years. And I finally recruited them.
Okay.
The one that took me the longest was 12 years. 12 years, finally recruited them. And so, you know, just some of them you follow up with like once a year, randomly. Just if you have a board, if you're bored one day, you got some bandwidth, you just get out your old list of people that you got a star next to their name, even though they've been ghosting you, but they sounded pretty sharp. Reach out to them, like I talked earlier, and say, hey, look, I'm sitting on my couch. And I went and looked up, you know, I had a list of people I had talked to years ago about a business project. You obviously weren't interested at the time, but it being a new year, maybe you're having some New Year's resolution thoughts in your mind right now. Do you happen to, at this moment in time, keep your income options open to side projects when money's exciting enough? And just shoot it out. And you can go through a list of 100 people that have ghosted you over the years. And you can sit down in one afternoon and fire out 100 messages, and you might get 3 or 4 or 5 people that respond to that. So just every so often, just keeping them there. I mean, it's like fishing in a pond. Let the fish stay in the pond. It might be swimming deep. It might have no interest in the bait that you're throwing out. You're throwing out worms and they only like other fish. One day you might go out there and say, you know what, I'm going to stop trying worms. I'm going to throw a rubber fish into my line and use that kind of a lure. And you might catch that fish that day. So just let them all stay in your pond. The pond's big enough. There's plenty of water, plenty of room. They can live in there for 10 years. And eventually, if you keep after them, you'll find them at a time where they just lost their job, or they just had a tearful moment, you know, thinking about how their kids are growing up without them being around, and they want to change something about it. I mean, recruiting is about timing, catching somebody at the right time.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, sir. I appreciate the generosity of your time.
My pleasure. My pleasure. Appreciate you, and great questions, everybody. Hope you all got some good ideas, some insights, philosophies. A lot of it starts with philosophy, which leads to your mindset and your attitude, which dictates your actions, and that's going to get you the results. So just remember that. Let me just end with this. Everybody wants to focus on their lifestyle. This is the lifestyle I want. Lifestyle comes from results. Results come from actions. Actions are coming from your attitude, which is dictated by your mindset, which is dictated by your philosophy. So tonight, hopefully, we gave you some solid philosophies when I talked about those hallmarks of my personal process: philosophy, mindset, attitude. It's all going to drive your behavior and action, which is going to get you the results, which is going to lead to your lifestyle that you ultimately want. So 2024, does not have to be a repeat of 2023. I've had people say, Brian, what's wrong with me? I've been doing the business for 10 years. I'm nowhere better off now. I'm like, no, look, you've done the same year 10 times. You're not 10 years better in the business. You're doing the same thing this year that you did 10 years ago. You've not been working on yourself. You've not been growing. You've not been increasing. So don't have the same year in 2024 as you guys had last year. What are you going to do differently? How are you going to get better? Are you going to become a better prospector? Are you going to be better at making a new friend quickly? Like we talked about how to win friends and influence people, because know, like, and trust. They can't know you. They can't trust you. The best you can do is get them to like you right away. Talk with a smile on your face. Be more interested in them than interesting. And we can get into a whole nother training there. We're not going to do that. Let's get into the new year. The most important thing when you leave here is go to bed tonight with tomorrow planned out. The most successful people in the world plan out their day the night before. What are the big rocks you need to get done tomorrow? Do you have anything big you have to do? Put them in your calendar. Block them out. Everything else, fit in the next big, the next big, the next big, all the way down to the grains of sand. And if you have a goal of getting 2 exposures done tomorrow, when are you going to do them? Figure it out tonight. Is it going to be on your drive home from work? Is it going to be on your lunch break? Is it going to be while you're cooking dinner for the kids? Whatever it is, plan a successful day. What is your successful day in your network marketing business going to look like tomorrow? Plan it out tonight, execute tomorrow. Tomorrow night when you go to bed, before you do, plan out the next day. Take your business one day at a time. Stack wins one day at a time. In your journal or in your planner, in the victory circle, write down your wins. I did 3 exposures today, 50% more than I was supposed to. Celebrate yourself. You didn't get a sign up? No big deal. You did the activity. Be proud of yourself. That's going to let you go into the next day with a little bit better posture, a little bit better confidence, a little bit better self-esteem. Build yourselves up. God made you in his likeness. You guys got greatness inside of you. And to be anything less than that is less than what he deserves. He made you in his likeness. Some of you may have been watching my story in the last year. I just got baptized on December 10th. I just gave my life to Christ, and I'm in a new journey, and I'm learning things. It used to be all about me, and I was running through life with brute force, trying to make things happen. And it's all about me, and I'm so great. And it's because I'm such a hard worker. And it's, no, God put greatness in all of us. And yeah, I was doing a lot of it through brute force. Imagine what I'm going to be able to do, acknowledging the Holy Spirit that's been my running mate. And I now look and see it's going to be awesome. I'm looking forward to all of you as you blossom in your own journeys. And if you can find a way, might not relate for all of you, but if you can find a way to align your business life and your faith and get that alignment, I'm telling you, in the last year, I've never felt this happy and more complete than in my 52 years prior. I wish that for all of you to find a way to get there this year. I'll let you guys go ahead and unmute, say goodnight, shout out some goals, whatever you want to do as we hang up, and we'll see everybody on the next Zoom next time we do this.
Thank you,
Thank you, Brian.
Thank you,
Mr. Carruthers.
everybody.
Thank
Have a
you.
great night, everybody.
God bless you,
Thank
Brian.
you.
Happy New Year.
Have a great night. You're awesome.
Good night.
Awesome training.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations on your baptism.
Awesome. Thanks,
Absolutely,
guys.
y'all.
Brothers, you're the best, man. You're the best.
Replay?
Outstanding. I'll see
Happy New
you.
Year. Happy
Happy
New
New
Year
Year,
to
guys.
everybody. And
Happy
thank
New
you
Year.
so
Happy New Year.
very much
There
for
a
everything
replay?
you do, Mr.
You
Carruthers.
are different.
Thanks,
Good
Brian.
night. God bless.
Thank you, Brian. You are a
Good
blessing.
night.
Thank you for
There a
everything Brian
replay?
pouring into us tonight.
Thank you. Blessings to all of you. God bless. Be well. Be happy.
The question just popped up. Is there going to be a replay? Everything I ever do, replays always go into the Empire Builders vault. So anybody who's in the vault, this will go in there and it's archived like all my other trainings and everything else. That's the only way a replay like this is available. So have a great night, everybody.
Thank
See you
you.
soon.
Night night. Night night.
Good night, guys.